Corporate is one of the strangest things that humans have ever collectively agreed to pretend is normal. Think about it for a second. Every day, millions of fully grown adults wake up and they put on silly costumes and then they commute in traffic to fluorescent lit buildings. They sit in rectangles on Zoom, speak in a made-up language, move symbols around on screens all day, and they call it work. Nothing is built. Half the time, nothing is fixed, and ultimately nothing tangible changes. But everyone acts like it matters, like it's a big deal. To me, this is not a normal way for humans to spend their lives. This is a simulation. Let me clarify exactly what I mean here. A simulation is, at its core, just a system where you can do everything right inside the system and still produce nothing meaningful in the real world. In real work, for example, you build something. It either works or it doesn't, and reality will give you feedback immediately. In corporate, on the other hand, you can have a packed calendar. You can literally have back-to-back meetings all day, perfectly formatted decks, and glowing performance reviews. And at the end of the year, you have to ask, what actually exists because I was here, because I showed up every day? And to be honest, the answer is usually quite hard to define. It's vague. And that right there is a simulation. You're busy, you're exhausted, but nothing actually moved. And honestly, the whole environment is fundamentally wrong. Humans are physical, social mammals. We evolved outdoors, we evolved to move. We evolved to solve real problems in the real world with our hands and our bodies. And corporate says to us, sit still, inside, under artificial light, and don't move around too much, it's distracting. 8 to 10 hours a day, minimal sunlight, minimal movement, maximum screen time. That's the recipe. And then we act surprised when people are anxious, depressed, exhausted, and fucking fried out of their minds. Of course they are. You've taken a species that was literally built for movement, to move tens of kilometers a day, and you've put it in a fucking chair all day, staring at a screen, and act like that won't have consequences. And the schedule that everyone works, it's designed for control, not for productivity. Everybody works the same hours. Everyone commutes at the same time. Entire global cities grind to a halt twice a day on business days because we decided that the 9-to-5 schedule was sacred. The amount of time that this process wastes is fucking insane. Hours lost commuting, hours lost getting ready to commute, hours lost being tired because of the commute. Whole chunks of human life just disappear so that people can sit in the same building at the same time, sending emails to people that are 10 meters away. This isn't productivity. This is an enormous amount of human time being burned for no real reason. And that's not the worst of it. In corporate, you spend most of your waking life with people who you would never normally choose to associate with. People with different values, people with different ambitions, people with different competence, different standards, people who you have fundamentally nothing in common with at all, except a paycheck. Humans thrive in chosen social groups, and corporate replaces that with forced politeness and constant low-level tension. You're not collaborating, you're really managing people and you're calibrating yourself all day. And one thing I particularly hated is the corporate uniform. Everyone wears it. It doesn't matter if it's a suit or if it's business casual or if you're a startup so you wear hoodies. It's still a fucking costume. You talk differently, you joke less, you suppress honesty, instinct, and edge, and ultimately you just suppress your true personality. You become a slightly duller version of yourself for 8+ hours every day. Do that long enough and you stop noticing. And that's not professionalism. It's erosion of your own real identity. And corporate job titles are genuinely fucking ridiculous. Senior manager, vice president, director of strategic enablement. Ask 10 people what these mean and you'll get 10 different answers. 2 people with the exact same title in a company can do completely different jobs. 2 people that are fundamentally doing the same tasks can have completely different titles. These titles just exist so that people feel like they're moving up in some fabricated hierarchy when nothing is really changing. It's status inflation. It's a way to make people feel important without giving them real ownership. And a lot of the work that you do in corporate is symbolic. It's not actually real work. Most corporate work doesn't create anything. It creates symbols about work, slide decks explaining why something hasn't happened, reports summarizing conversations, frameworks describing problems that everybody already understands. You don't fix the thing, you describe the thing. You present the thing, you circulate the thing, and then you circle back on the thing. Eventually, nobody remembers what the original problem even fucking was. And don't get me started on meetings. Meetings exist so nobody actually has to decide anything. If everybody was there, if everyone attended, well then nobody's actually responsible. That's the real function. Risk gets diluted, responsibility disappears, and nothing moves. You leave a meeting always with next steps or action steps, which ultimately require another meeting. And this is how organizations slowly grind to a halt. And then there's the language. Corporate language exists to soften the truth. Alignment means no one wants to commit. Visibility means optics. Stakeholders means people who can say no. Circle back, one of my favorites, means that is never happening. The more abstract the language, the safer everyone feels. Clarity creates friction, and vagueness is what protects your job and protects careers. In the real world, effort meets reality. In corporate, effort meets an approval chain. And ultimately, you don't know if your work actually mattered. You don't know if it was accepted. You don't see cause and effect. You see comments and revisions. And that's ultimately why burnout feels so empty and tragic, because you're tired, but you've earned nothing. You don't even know why. It's meaningless. And then there's the anti-excellence incentives. Excellence requires speed, ownership, and risk. Corporate discourages all three of those things. Being right is dangerous. Standing out is risky. And playing safe, on the other hand, is rewarded. The system quietly selects for people who don't rock the boat. Ambition doesn't explode. It just quietly fades. And ultimately, it's just one big comfort trap. The pay is okay. The lifestyle is stable. The path is socially approved. All your friends are doing it. Leaving looks risky and irresponsible. And so people stay. Years pass. Skills don't compound. Nothing tangible exists in the real world that you can point to. The cage isn't locked. It's just comfortable enough to stay in. And this is ultimately how a species that's capable of invention, space exploration, mastery, ends up spending the best years of its existence updating spreadsheets and attending meetings about meetings. Not because it's optimal or it's what we should actually be doing, or even because it's valuable, just because everybody pretended that it was important. That's corporate. It's a simulation so convincing that people forget that there's a real world outside it. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I drop one like this every 48 hours, and I hope to see you in the next one.